Hi Libra, this is an August 2024 reading for your sign using the tarot. I get the impression that you're getting interrupted a lot and that you're really busy and time is of the essence and you'd like me to just get straight to the point. So instead of speaking about what came through in my meditation now, I'll do that as I go and we will just pull straight from the tarot. You're the only sign I've done this for, so I get this impression that things are quite urgent for you lately, Libra. I hope that this reading is coming at an okay time for you. And I hope that you can take some time out of your day to sit and relax and take in some of these messages. Take what resonates, leave the rest. Let's see what's coming through for you. Oh, the Empress. I mean, you're still gorgeous, you're still blessed, you're still thriving. 9 of Cups. Oh, yes, you are. The 10 of Swords. The 10 of Swords, you know, you're just absolutely done with someone's shit. And that's the thing, you know you're worth a lot more. And the 9 of Cups, things are starting to look up for you. And, you know, you don't possibly have time anymore for the Hanged Man. This kind of like limbo, this kind of energy of being stringed along, strung up, suspended, waiting. The 4 of Cups, the Hermit, the Judgment card, big energies coming through this month. 3 of Pentacles, 10 of Pentacles, and finally the 9 of Wands. There's nothing to worry about when we see that 10 of Swords here, because I'm putting down these couple of rocks for a moment because it's so windy here. It almost feels like a thunderstorm could break. You know, this is the kind of like busy, tired, taking on a lot of energy I see. It seems like that's changing really soon, and some of you are just on this kind of like last push through some of the heavier jobs, obligations, duties that are currently coming up for you. The point of meditation, you know, you're a cardinal sign, and I know, God, for the love of God, we're just hearing Pluto's final ingress or regress into Capricorn. Pluto is leaving Capricorn for the last time in our lifetime. And you're like, yeah, but when is that actually happening? I keep hearing astrologers say that, and you're right. But for real, Pluto will be leaving Capricorn for the final time in our lifetime, and it will stay there in Capricorn one last time from September to November. So whatever the main tribulation, the main issue for you, the one that's been going on, Libra, 10 of Wands, 10 of Swords, the one that's like as heavy as these rocks on some level, the sort of one that has been lasting and almost never ending, that's the one that is about to transform for you. Is it an inner journey? Is it something you have been struggling with, battling with? Is it something external that just keeps seeming to be getting you down, or to be like the monkey on your shoulder? And is it somebody that stabbed you in the back? I don't know, but there's some sense of something that has been way harder than it should be, way harder than it ought to have been. That's the thing that's coming up, and that's more so reaching its closing act, final stage in like September, October, November period. However, it wouldn't be surprising then that August is a month where a lot of that kind of like inner nurturing and care that you are undertaking and doing for yourself is coming up, not to cushion what's coming up November or September through to December. It's just to get you ready for it and get you in your kind of like 9 of Wands, you know, you're the strongest version of yourself you could be. Not that you're necessarily going to be requiring strength, but you want to be fortified, you want to be enriched and ready to just like fully take on this transformation and be part of it and be present with it. There's something about your self-worth that's coming up at the moment, Libra, and there's been a challenge to that. And the Empress card, just so delighted for you to see it in the middle of your reading. It would tell me that you're in a current position of, if not fully knowing your worth, like that's the current soul growth that you're at right now. So it won't be long, but many of you, I think, have really witnessed yourself as this precious and special, necessary, important person in the world. You're loved by others, you love others, and it's less about you loving all the time. What about now, Libra? It's your time to be loved. So it's less about giving is no problem for the Empress, maybe not for you either, because it is in a sort of free flow state of love. There's no drying up of this waterfall in the background. It's going to continue. It's a continuous loop of gratitude and love, and continuously having these moments of connection with the universe and with yourself, and continuing your whole life to have these moments of love and abundance and just belonging. And at the moment though, you're at a high point with that, where you're like, no, I'm really important, and what I need and what I need to receive, that's what the Empress is paramount right now. So it is about loving, but it's also more so for you right now about being loved and cherished and treasured. And I'm happy, and so is this Nine of Cups, happy and glad that you have made this realization at the moment that you are worth so much more than the current kind of worth so much more than the current or past, I guess. The current is good, the past are the crumbs, the Nine of Cups, the kind of like wishy-washy, the flaky, the uninterested. The Nine of Cups, or the Four of Cups rather, like, you can't blame anyone. Maybe it's just about understanding that they weren't able to give you what you wanted, and they weren't able to commit to that friendship in the same way to commit to you, or maybe it's the company you work for, the family you come from, or the society indeed, and something a bit bigger picture, but it wasn't suited to you, it wasn't tailored to give you what you needed or deserved at that moment in your life. And it's hard to kind of judge that, because perhaps it wasn't, or they weren't made that way, or nurtured in that same way. The Empress is the archetypal mother, so we do see that this is a point in your life where it's going to be really important to nurture yourself. Maybe you are a mother and you have all of this love to give, and there's just a part of you that says, you know, I want a little bit of love back. This does not indicate any kind of selfish kind of parenting. I'm not suggesting that. It's just the time and season for you to receive love, no matter how that's coming through. A lot of you are just in a very creative, birthing frequency. The Empress card is about cultivating something that you love, nourishing it, and actually not kind of keeping it all to yourself. That's probably when that waterfall would run dry, but sharing what you love and sharing it with the world, and being celebrated and loved for that. So what you're working on, what your vision is, what you see for yourself, other people want that for you too, and want to be a part of that and share in that special interest or special creative birthing process that you're in now. This should be like kind of jarring and difficult and sad when we see the Ten of Swords, but it's not in this reading. It's very clear cut. Nine of Cups, you're doing so well. You're so full of positive emotions and satisfaction and fulfillment that the Ten of Swords is just really like obvious now. That's done, and it was hard, but that was not available for you, and the Ten of Swords is the final straw. And you know, on a deeper level, the subconscious actually had this big soul growth sort of period of Hanged Man energy, where you were wondering then, well, why did it take so long for me to see that, or why was this process so difficult and drawn out and defeating at times, or why did I have to go such a long way around with this time after time, month after month, or year after year even. You knew that this was ending with this sort of final straw, or it had to end somehow, and you could probably see how that was going to be. But why did it have to take so long? Well, the Hanged Man in the subconscious mind is saying, because you had to see a new perspective, and the only way that you were able to see that was to, I don't know, this is rock bottom in the worst case scenario, but it's really just a critical turning point in the storyline of your life, of your experience. And the Hanged Man said you were suspended for a long time, you were in limbo, or you were paused here until you saw things in a different way. And the main answer to your quest seems to be, I don't know, this will be different for everybody, but as cliche as it is, it's love, being loved. And if you want to be loved, you know where that starts, with yourself. And that kind of like, you were able to love and be loved, but it really started with loving yourself. And that's cliche. At the same time, I haven't said it in any of the other signs reading this month, and you're the 10th sign I've read for. So loving yourself is extremely important, and it's laying the foundation for this sort of transformation that comes for you between September, October, November of this year. This very profound transformation, actually. Judgment card, it's Pluto, so this is Pluto's territory when we see the Judgment card, and it is coming through in the highest self position. Okay, so I'm gonna let you know, just while I think of it, Libra, if you want to do an extended of this reading where I pull 10 more cards to go deeper in the messages here, that will be linked below. I'll leave the link below to the extended where you can find that. But if this is all you're sticking around for, well, let's get back to it. The highest self is here to say, with Judgment card, okay, you are undergoing a life overhaul, and you might say not really, but yes, and it's going to be ongoing. As I said, yes, it was 11 minutes and 11 seconds. Take from that what you will. But the highest self, I'm kind of voicing like that, like, you know, just kind of for this reading, it's like the Judgment card I would read from the highest self is saying now, Libra, buckle up, because your life is about to change, and you've been calling in this transformation, and you've been seeking this transformation, and evolution, it's happening one way or another. And that's why it was so necessary to keep you in this point, at this place, in these circumstances. And sometimes, even though you knew what the end looked like, even though you knew what the finish line would be like and where this was all being tied up for you, you just couldn't physically get there, or energetically or emotionally get there. And that's perfect, and that was right for you, because there was so much that you learned along the way. And when this cycle is over, 10's just representing the end of a cycle, you're at a critical turning point now where you're ready to release this person, for a lot of you, or this thing, theme, or entanglement, or focus of obligation, or thing you've been working on. You're now ready to release it and leave it up to, you know, their highest self, or leave it up to them, or where they're at on their journey, or leave it up to the universe, or surrender, basically. That's what I'm trying to say, Libra. Mercury retrograde started today, you know, that can be my current excuse. JK, we're not about that. We're not about blaming Mercury retrograde, but while we're talking about Mercury retrograde, Mercury doesn't stop working when it's in retrograde. No planet stops working or functioning when it is in its retrograde. Pluto is also in retrograde. What it's doing is repairing, restructuring. Think of a broken strand of DNA. And what's happening now is that strand of DNA, or that conversation that happened in the past, or that, if we're talking karma, Pluto, that karmic cycle, that pattern, that conditioning, that past life energy, or that conversation, that correspondence, that sale, whatever it is, something from the past needs to be like that strand of DNA, just repaired. Something went a little bit wrong, and it wouldn't serve you to continue on your journey without going back and repairing that, or understanding it better. So there is no malfunction with a retrograde planet. In fact, it's doing exactly what it's meant to do for you, and it's to repair, restructure, refine, revitalize, whatever it is. Now, the sun doesn't go retrograde, so maybe revitalize is the wrong word, but the Judgment card is here to say that this Pluto retrograde cycle for you is going to be massively transformative for you in September through November, and now you're laying this groundwork of love and gratitude and feeling so blessed at the moment in your life, knowing that you're actually at the end of a cycle and now it's the critical turning point, and you're like, well, why? I knew it was going to be like this, but why did I have to go this way on it? Hanged Man was like, well, because the subconscious mind needed to learn something. They needed to see in a perspective. And the past energy of the Four of Cups, well, something's left a bit of a bad taste in your mouth because they didn't show up, or they flaked, or they weren't interested. And it's kind of this, I'm just quoting a movie, he's just not that into you. That's the Four of Cups. The Four of Cups is just a sort of lack of showing up, a lack of response. And I don't think we can judge this person, and I certainly wouldn't take it personally. They weren't made that way, is what I keep hearing. They weren't designed that way. The path wasn't designed that way. Now, the Hermit card, you're going to spend a lot of August focused on this and kind of tunnel vision on this. That's not to say that, you don't get to enjoy blessings and feeling abundance and beautiful and pretty and gorgeous and happy. You do. That's the present energy you're in now, and it continues. But the Hermit card is like, you do focus in on this and you give it a lot of your attention. But at the same time, that's probably a good thing, because then you get to really integrate this whole thing and process it and begin to understand it more. This is the card for Virgo, and this sun moving into Virgo on the 23rd, after the full moon in Aquarius on the 19th, and when Mercury is starting to speed up now again and about to station direct, you're starting to see things with a lot greater clarity and a lot more understanding. Chances are your questions will be answered by around the 23rd, 24th of the month. Mercury retrograde is finishing up around the 29th of August. However, I think that the situation that there is confusion on at the beginning of the month, even though you're happy and you're vibing, does become clear. We'll get into that more in the extended. Money and purpose and job and collaboration and togetherness and teamwork is thriving in August. Particularly the collaboration is looking good all month, in fact, and teamwork and working together and friendships and any teams, associations, and just stuff you're part of with other people. That's been going really well. It seems like you really get a breakthrough financially, or in terms of any kind of resource, towards the end of the month, maybe after the full moon on the 19th. There is just this clearing. That's a big deal this month for most of the signs, but because it's in a fellow air sign in Aquarius, for you, I think it's going to be mostly harmonious, to be honest with you, Libra. I don't think you'll feel the roughness of this Saturn ruled new moon or full moon on the 19th. I actually think that you're going to be kind of cruising around the 19th of the month. I think that the next pivotal part of the month is more 22nd, 23rd, 24th, and it just is very introspective, answers to your questions, and you get to grips and understand everything. A lot of you might actually have quite a spiritual experience around that time as well. And then there is this resource, business opportunity, payout, or contract comes through this month for you, Libra. And let me just tell you this, you hit the ground running in August, late August. You are cruising into September, and it's one of the most momentous and advantageous end of the month, beginning of a new month that you've had this year. Thanks for watching, Libra.